Well, welcome to another episode of Backstory with Dr. B. I am Dr. B. It is September 18th, 2024. Got another picture of my dad doing some bodybuilding. You can see a little bit better of what's going on with that hair compared to last time, which I never could figure out. But again, I never claimed to be good at faces. I think I'll focus on the arms today. So, had a funky dream last night. I kind of like to draw that more, but I promised I'd do pictures of my dad, so I was gonna do one of him when he was much younger at Finocchio's. I don't know if they call it a restaurant or club or whatever in San Francisco. Doing a night on the town when he was in his early 20s, just after he'd gotten married to my mom, with my mom and my uncle. And my mom and my uncle all dressed up. Most people here probably don't know what Finocchio's was in the early 1960s. This is kind of interesting here, how the palm goes up. And then you've got the pinky. It's always weird when you're drawing a grip from the outside of the hand, you know? And that, of course, is a curl bar. Now, this is a more traditional move, but nevertheless, it's obviously bicep day at Willie's Gym in Antioch, California. And the early, mid to late 1980s, something like that. Oh boy, that's rough. Huh. That's what happens when you do the fingers and you don't move your arm. So you're supposed to move the arm when you're doing a long line like that. And of course, doing it in unerasable ink is kind of taking a bit of a chance too. So did I leave enough room for his face in between these two things? We got this coming down. We got his neck. I got some chin actually right here. So we got chin, rather small chin. Oh gosh, I hesitate to do this. This is such a weird facial expression. That's terrible. Oh, it's awful. I don't know if I can bear myself to do this and to get those little teeth in there. Well, that was part of my dream last night. Anyway, we're coming up here. We got a little lip action sticking out there. Then we got the neckline. And then we got the Willie's t-shirt more than likely coming around here. And see, this is like totally bad planning, right? I should have sketched this whole thing out. And but at last I have what his hairdo looked like. Look at that. What do we got? What do we got? What's his name? Ron Burgundy. It's the Ron Burgundy hair left over from the 70s. Maybe that's coming up a little higher. I got a little wave right there. Hey, he's working out, right? He's not so well worried about his hair. This is terrible. Oh my god, this is so bad. I like the little teeth. We're going to make the mouth dark in there. And anyway, I enjoy drawing the muscles more anyway. I mean, that's just in general. Hey, that's the whole muscle and fitness influence, right? And then it came over. Again, proportion's not right. You know, the enlargement of a particular body part is usually because that's the one I'm having the most fun drawing. And honestly, I've always enjoyed drawing arms more. You know, arms are fun. And you know what's weird about arms is when I took anatomy and physiology at Diablo Valley College in California, when I took it there, Diablo Valley, wait a minute, that's completely in English. Well, Diablo is the English translation of that. Los Medanos, that was the one that was actually in Spanish. I took some classes there too, just trying to crank it out. I gotta just be a little more relaxed and free. I got some knuckles. I got another middle finger sticking up there, whatever. And the thing about the anatomy class is we had to do dissection on minks and cats and stuff like that. And I'd bring a dead cat home and stick it in the fridge. And he was pretty good about it. He'd been fishing, he didn't mind stuff. So that's coming down. Now, did I line these two up just at a distance? Hey, so we've got a little bit larger on this side because it's forearms closer. All right, I'm being a little less meticulous, I think, than last time. Talent levels vary day to day, if at all. All right, I'm not really worried. I'm just not into the hand, man. You know what? I'm not feeling this today. So, we got some muscles, we got some wrinkles, we got lots of shadows in here. And how far back does that go? Maybe I can get the back of the hairdo right. It kind of looks like a helmet hair from sort of a little California weather gal back in the 80s, maybe she's the news anchor. Like Veronica Corningstone from Ron Burgundy, the legend of Ron Burgundy. Now, I was cutting up on his triceps yesterday, but he was doing a flexion move, and that's going to inhibit the. So this comes over, and he's got a pretty interesting little kind of here, then the deltoid mass here. So you see that pretty good, and then we got the lats coming out back here. It's actually his back, and it's not back fat, so he doesn't need a bra back there. Ooh, sorry. I'm going a little bit more into detail there. Whatever. Oh, and that's his tattoo. He's got that panther tattoo. He got that when he was a kid. He didn't tell his parents about it. Of course, this is a classic tattoo from back in the day. Wow. Until he was in a white t-shirt in the house one day, and the tail of the panther was hanging out, and Grandma Myrtle was like, "What the hell is that?" I don't actually know what she said, frankly. He got in a little trouble for that, but I mean, what are you going to do right by then? It's totally gone. So this is a hot mess, I'll have to admit. I'm just not feeling the art today, man. But I will cobble it together out of tissue paper and spit wads. That's probably worthy of a redraw. We got some shadow in there. They're not really shadow right there, though, just right here. And then right here. And then some generalized shadow here. Darken up these lines. 70s hair guy. Got a little flip. I got that. I think Beachams have a pretty consistent hair pattern. We keep our hair, too. I remember I was complaining to a patient one time. Whoops, did I move that out of center? I was complaining to a patient one time because my hair was going gray when I was younger, and he was bald, and he just gave me a dirty look, and I'm like, all right, I will never, ever complain about my hair going gray. And it came in pretty good, I have to say. Got a little skunk line in the back, So that's kind of cool. And then it's going to get patchy again. When it first came in gray, it was all patchy and looked like the mange. It was just terrible. But, your body changes, right? So he's, obviously looking like he's a 40-year-old dude with the skin tone and everything. Sorry, I'm sipping on some coffee here. Anyway, I don't want to dare I risk the face any further? Not with such a thick pen. The pen's a problem. It's just too fat. A little bit here. Okay, I don't dare do any more on the face with that. Maybe I should get myself some pens to do a little bit better work. Really, though, what I kind of wanted to talk about was the dream I had last night. I don't know if this was because I drew him or what's going on. I know it's very stressful right now after, he's passed away and we're trying to settle the estate with his widow. And And so, we got to go through all this court stuff. It's just a hassle. You have to pay attorney fees. Money, you don't have. Like, yeah, I got money laying around to pay attorneys. Oh, we'll do what we have to do. That's for sure. The neck. Let's see. The neck is coming to here. That means it's back here. I'm going to fake this one, and I think this comes up at a sharper angle. A little bit better. That's a little bit better. Anyway, well, last night I had a dream. It was terrifying. And I woke up at 3:30. It was an endless chase scene by this huge dinosaur. I wonder how's the view doing down here. Can we see pretty good? If I move it up a little. There we go. Let's see, but the dinosaur had the weirdest teeth. They were yellow and they were flat, like this. It was a T-Rex, He looks kind of friendly. He was not friendly in the dream. It was more like your classic T-Rex kind of a thing going on there. Let's make him frowny. But the front teeth were like this. And he would almost get me, and he would almost get me, and he would almost get me, and he'd be like right there in front of me. Be right in front of me. I am very loosey-goosey today. So the thing about this kind of a foot shape, is that it's anatomically much like us. I was talking about dissecting cats, but the most interesting thing about the dissection was the mink. We did a mink because they would be commercially farmed, and then their skin would be, their furs would be taken off. And then we would get the bodies to do dissection on. And the whole forearm, wrist musculature thing, all of the muscles were the same. So you had your, like I mentioned last time, brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis, longus and brevis, flexor digitorum longus and brevis, adductor pollicis, abductor pollicis, all that kind of stuff. I hope I got those right. Anyway, all of those were the same. It was like complete evolutionary convergence. It's like, okay, come on, how can humans were not, we're not built with, built without reference to prior models. It's just like with cars. And it's one system built upon another and then modified. Of course, we are unique in our bipedalness, but this thing was chasing me all night long. And it would almost get me, it would jump over me. And the weirdest parts were, it was behind me, and it was like a Jurassic Park kind of a thing. And it was like right behind me, and I was on a little motorcycle, and he was snapping at us, but he couldn't quite catch us, and we got in that higher gear, when Jeff Goldblum stopped pushing on the shifter. Well, when I looked back behind me, I saw that there was a river in the background. And then there was like a harbor with some docks coming out, like a big harbor building of kind of a warehouse thingy. The lights on, maybe a smokestack. And it was night. And all of a sudden there was this huge hump of water. It was spray flying off of it, and this monster was coming up out of the river. There were two of them. There was one there, and then there was one there, and then it was kind of one behind it as well. And it was like when Godzilla comes out of the water and it sort of humps up the water, but you can't see the monster yet. So I had the T-Rex right here behind me, and me and two other people are on a little motorcycle. And we're going that way, and the T-Rex is right here, man. He's right about to get us. And I look over there, and I see these monsters behind us, and they didn't even bother me. That I was so scared about the T-Rex, he was freaking me out. And I ended up going and hiding in a grocery store. You know, so I was inside the grocery store. This is the front with the plate glass. You got your checkers. You got your check stands here. And I'm kind of hiding here. And this is all big plate glass. This is typical, especially at older grocery stores. And I'm waiting, you know, for the monster to come through here, and not sure, you know, when he's going to come, and plotting my exits. There was an exit sign over here. There were some exits in the back. And I'm like, if I run down the aisles, because the aisles went this way, you know, would he be able to catch me? Would the aisle slow him down, or was his footpath narrow enough to fit between the grocery store aisles, or would it be a distraction for him? I'm a dinosaur. And so I thought about all the dream associations, you know, thinking about my dad and thinking about my childhood. And there are so many. For instance, a monster chasing you, according to the Dream Dictionary, which I found to be a pretty reliable source, usually represents either childhood trauma, you know, forgotten or pushed down past memories of memories you don't want to think about. Even if it wasn't traumatic, like the breakup of a girlfriend, or when you do something really stupid in life. Can you still see me? I'm going to look up here. I guess this is still working. You know, past memories, that type of thing. And they're chasing you and you don't want to think about it. And then it had those teeth. And you remember I mentioned yesterday, or on the last video, that Dad had false teeth. Those were human type front teeth on the dinosaur. So I think that was sort of a reference, you know, to dad and family life, you know, about, you know, certain experiences that you don't want to think about too much, you know, and then you know, when he took us as children, and early childhood life, because I was terribly, so that would be like family memories. And I was pathologically shy as a child, long before the divorce. I mean, just as a little kid, when I was asked to answer a question, and there's all kinds of people sitting around the table, I would climb under the table and hide. So they tested me. They checked my ears, you know, to see if, you know, I was deaf. They checked my eyes. And they checked my brain. They had me talk to a shrink. Cerebellum, brainstem, question mark, question mark. Brain, greater than 135 IQ, so that was cool. Eyes, needed glasses. Hearing was okay. Not now. I'm losing my hearing. Slowly but surely. So it's not a matter of raw IQ; it was psychological. Obviously, I was terribly frightened. In fact, there was a you know, crawling under tables was just a thing that I did it when I was a little kid. So the dinosaur, you know, represents, you know, reminds me of those kind of things. The monster factor. Also, I was raised on a river. I was raised on the Sacramento River, and I interned my dad in the Sacramento River. You know, like right over here. There was some riprap and some cement blocks and stuff. My family. How many of us were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were all there to put him into the water, which we actually didn't do because I don't know if that's legal to do so. You know, I wanted to do that. And And that's where we would have done it at had we actually done that. And I'll never be going to Contra Costa County again, more than likely, so I'm not too worried about that. So there was a power plant on the Sacramento River and some paper mills too. So this is, stream of consciousness. This is not wanting to think about past. I mean, I woke up, my heart was racing, and I would remember the abject terror, and it just didn't end. It wasn't like one of those quick dreams where it's all of a sudden you're done. So very much an art therapy kind of a thing. So anyway, the grocery store theme, back to that. My dad managed grocery stores back when I was a kid. In fact, I went with him to a grocery store early in the morning to do inventory. And I organized the toy section. This is like in the mid to late 1960s. And so obviously this is a reference to my dad's work, and looking back at him in his 40s, when, this is a 60-year-old hand, is very interesting because it kind of puts you in the perspective of, what was he going through during his life? I've been talking way too long on this. Anyway, I got to get to work. So second drawing. Oh, by the way, this is at Willie's gym. I forgot to flip it over. Bodybuilding, April 3rd. It doesn't say the Willie's Health Club. Jim Beecham working out at Willie's. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess it was for a newspaper article at the time. Anyway, less wistful today, more processing, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Have a good day.